Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Arnold Kroner. In herbal medicine, a formula is not just a list of ingredients. It's a carefully balanced ecosystem of complex biochemical relationships. But for many practitioners and students, the logic of how two herbs interact, the Duì Yaò, the pairing, can feel like a riddle. I spent the last years building this course, going back to when I was in the doctoral program at Emperor's College. I got inspired by my teacher, Cormac Ferguson, and his modular approach to formula building, and in particular his book, the Book of Modules. We often say that a formula isn't written, it is compiled, very much like a computer program. So this is an interactive curriculum featuring the background information on Duì Yaò, and we will cover 38 essential herb pairs, designed to show you exactly how these relationships work through data visualization and the pharmacology outlining the synergy in herb pairs. In this course, we aren't just memorizing functions, we are looking at mechanisms and relationships, both at the theoretical level and the clinical level. So let's dive into the modules and interactive activities and see how these pairs transform from simple plants into a clinical synergy or herbal power and synergy. I hope you enjoy it. Happy learning! Okay, welcome to the hub of the class. This is actually a website that I designed and programmed with interactive modules, and that's where everything is linking to. And I'll give you now the class outline overview. So the biochemistry of relationships, that's really what Duì Yaò is about. And here we're really going to explore the relationship between those building blocks and how they form eventually some more complex formulas, but they are really the foundation of formula building or compilation. So we're going to learn about chemical interactions, biological vectors, and what I really want to emphasize, and I'm actually really excited for you as students, is to have access to the online component and the interactive tools. You will see all of them in the class here that's on video, but I encourage you to sign up at drkroner.com, register Duì Yaò to have your own access to it. Then you can take the case studies, you can play with the interactive modules, and you have access to the Duì Yaò composer that I'll show you in a minute. The prerequisites, yes. Single herbs, yeah, we need to at least know which herbs go into the Duì Yaòs. Even if it's just a vague knowledge, you'll be fine. Biochemistry, well, maybe some fundamental metabolic pathways. In terms of pharmacology, we need to understand receptors and basically the foundation of pharmacology. We don't need to be pharmacists. Now, the foundation of this class is the relationships between the herbs. Think of the Duì Yaò single herbs as characters into a play. So in a play, you'll have different relationship between the characters. But this is the same here. The Duì Yaòs are the actors, and when we have them play together, we have some action, or a plot, or some drama, or a happy ending. So I took 38 pairs from the H.P. Kim Handbook of Oriental Medicine, which sadly is out of print. But those are really the primary blocks of classical formulas. He has 100 pairs in there. I did some research and there's actually more pairs that we can find out. I've provided you with a table of the book that I put into a spreadsheet so that you can have that if you want to see more pairs. I'll get to that later. Now that's the syllabus. So there's a number of modules. We'll start with fundamentals, with some history of how Duì Yaò came into being. Then we'll examine the 7 relation, or 8. Then we'll look at what vector dynamics are as guiding principles to understand how those herbs work. And then we'll examine dosage ratios and have an overview of what network pharmacology is. Then we'll take pairs from each of those categories that you can see listed there, and we'll go into them into a lot of depth, including mini case studies and looking at what I've created, which is a radar map of their action. So, and then yes, case studies. Now there's the biochemistry and the pharmacokinetics. That's going to be embedded in every module, and it's interesting. Now this is a Duì Yaò composer. It's a tool that I created, and it's a tool where you drag single herbs into a canvas and you connect them with a wire to have the resulting effect as a compositing tree, so to speak. Let me give you a demo right now. Here on the left you have the single herbs. You can, let's say, pick one. They're organized, as you can see, they're organized by category of single herbs. And then I'll do the most simple one, of course. But there's 60 herbs in there, and all the pairs that are in the class are in the thing. So, and then once you have two, you pick a little wire from one side and you hook it up to the other side of the other herb, and then you have, so to speak, a network that illustrates the action of the pair. So this is an exterior releasing pair, and now once you have the combined agents, you can see what the effects are in terms of biochemical pathways. So there's absorption, distribution, metabolism, and elimination. That's the categories that I chose. I hope you take advantage of it, and I hope that it's a lot of fun. And like I said, part of the class outline, there is case studies and quiz. So at the end, you can have fun, and we'll do some of it together. Now, a little bit about myself. I've been teaching for a long time. I'm a doctor of Oriental Medicine. I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I'm certified by the Institute of Functional Medicine, and I'm also credentialed by NCCOM. My teaching areas in medicine have been herbology, immunology, and biochemistry. And yes, I taught for more than 20 years in college. Everything I teach is evidence-based, always science, and I was on the faculty at Emperor's College. So for this class also I've compiled a lot of resources. I also created some of them. If you go to recommended resources, those are the main books for studying Duì Yaò. This book by Philippe Sionneau, another Frenchman, is really detailed. There's 122 pairs, while also explaining the foundation of Duì Yaò. So I really recommend it. Duì Yaò, The Art of Formula Construction by Wang Jing and Daniel Weber is not strictly Duì Yaò, but it's an interesting book on how to build formulas from a modular approach also. And then the book of modules, by its title, is also very modular, and by my teacher, Cormac Ferguson, but the book is out of print, unfortunately. But this is the approach that actually inspired me to study more Duì Yaò and look at those granular components or formulas that I found so elegant. We have the reference section. Those are the classics. Now the Bensky books come into a thinner book and vinyl cover, which is really nice because it doesn't fall apart and it's not a big brick. They also have a mobile app. Now, the Handbook of Oriental Medicine is out of print, unfortunately, but I think it's a really great book, and that's where I got our 100 pair table, which we'll see in a minute. So in the digital media, there's a link to a natural medicine database, which I have free access through the Institute of Functional Medicine, so there might be a paid membership there, but it's really essential for checking interactions and having access to all the literature for every natural compound, not just TCM. Everything's in there. It's awesome. Now there's the TCM Clinic Aid app, which is a great companion. Duì Yaò Composer, there's a link there, and I'll give you a demo already. Now, because every module that I covered, I didn't dwell too much on the presentation in the biochemical pathways, because I try to first limit the time spent for each module, but also I sort of stayed in the TCM context. But my original intent was to include all those charts that I created to demonstrate the science behind every pair and, for instance, show what happens at the molecular level, at the cellular level, but also how this translates into a TCM context. So you can search here. There's the 38 pairs, and if you search, you have to accent the pinion, by the way, otherwise it's not going to work. And then you can have access to all the different illustrations for the biochemistry, the cellular biochemistry, or the chemistry, the cellular biochemistry, and then how does this translate in TCM context. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now if we go back, there is what else? There's my single herb table. Those are the tables that I created when I was in school. So if I go full screen here, so all the single herbs are classified by category, color coded, and I don't think I've put dosages there, but it's been a great resource, not just for me, but for a lot of people. Now going back, so there is the single herb tables, but there's the same for my formula table. Now I've created another module because I didn't want to provide references at the end of every module. So here I provided at least 2 research papers for every pair. So on the left you have all the pairs that we studied, and for every one of them I featured at least 2 research papers to support their use. So you can search as well, but remember you have to accent the pinion. Then last but not least, I created a raw to powder conversion tool. So usually the tradition will give you a dosage in raw herbs, but they're sort of all different. So here you can, if you want quick calculations, you'll do 15, that's going to give you 3 grams. But you can also change your ratio here of concentration if you're using different granules. So yeah, a bit of a toy. Now let's go back, and let's go back because we're done with